to As Above.
So below.
I am Kisha Lee, the Psychic Yogi.
And I'm Cidnee Rich, and this is Astro Reiki Aries season. Happy New Year, guys. It's so funny because I feel like as time's going and the collective is doing its thing, more and more people are in that same like energy of this being the new year. So I love that. That's a shift that I'm loving and enjoying. It started on the 20th, and we will be in Aries season all the way until the 19th of April. So we just got here. It is interesting. Keisha and I were kind of talking about this. We're in the midst of all these retrogrades, right? So it feels a little like held back, a little slow to get things rolling. But at the same time, there still is this like burst of energy because you can't help but to feel that with the weather getting better and the blooms blooming and the bees buzzing. It's just so cool to just see the earth like come alive. And that helps, I know it helps me specifically feel better, feel like more I want to go and be out and about. And I'm sure that's how a lot of people are feeling. The ram is the symbol of Aries. And so we want to like, you think it's like all this like just rushing in head first, but because of the retrogrades, it's like literally like a little, I don't feel like a little infant, literally a baby ram that doesn't know where he's going. And so he's kind of just like, I'm not sure yet, mom. Or like a bird in a nest. Like I'm hesitating. Like the fool card is in my head. Like I'm hesitating on like leaping out here because I don't know yet. I don't feel that gusto yet, as we usually do with Aries, because these retrogrades are really dragging on the energy. And they just so happen to be lining up with the seasons because both Mercury and Venus are in Aries until it that goes backwards into Pisces. So it's like the actual Aries energy is retrograde right now. So it makes sense if you're not feeling as excited or like invigorated, but feeling a little like, you know what? This is cool. That's what it feels like to me, like real laid back, like real chill Aries, which is so not Aries, right? But I love that as above, so below vibe because it just makes sense. We're still in this fiery energy. And so fire doesn't always have to be so intense, right? You can, like, I have my candle lit right now, and that's kind of the vibe. Like the candle's lit, I can see, we can all start to, like, see the light, but it's not too consuming that we are feeling this like need to like really get things started, which is the antithesis of that Aries energy because it is cardinal. But I think it's interesting because cardinal energy, yes, it's the initiator and it's like, let's get things going. But with it starting out slowly, I think it's a cool kind of like leading energy for us for the year when all these big, huge shifts that we're in this year, we've got to get acclimated. Like, we can't just rush into it. And next thing you know, we're in that impulsivity of Aries energy and we're tripping over ourselves and we forgot some things and we're all over the place. Like, these shifts that are happening are so big that, like, taking our time is always going to be beneficial. So I feel like spirit, the universe knows that's what we're needing. And so that's why this energy starting with retrogrades, because it's like slowing us down before all this momentum starts to gain. And once it starts to gain more, we're about to get into Taurus season. So then it's still going to kind of like ease us into these shifts. So I find that really fascinating, actually, how spirit is like really helping us out. Like, okay, y'all, you got this, but we're going to ease you into all these changes. So, this Aries energy feels exciting, but also like anticipation. It's more of an anticipatory energy of like something's coming. And I know I felt that. Keisha and I were talking about that. She's been seeing lots of signs. I've had this like very Martian dream. Just real quick, like the tower was falling in my dream, and the tower is Mars energy in the tarot, and Aries rules Mars. So I know that it's like something's coming, probably an Aries season, but it's like it's a slow. And even the tower in my dream fell like so slow. It was so weird. And so like all that's kind of connecting now. And it's interesting too because masculine energy, Aries is masculine, but it's got, because it's slower, it's kind of got that balance that Libra brings, with it being its opposing sign, of like that femininity. Even though they're both masculine energies, it's like that feminine energy is here, like um it's like helping the energy. It's like, no, no, we got to do this together. We got to, like, this shift that we're going on, we got to, like, it's together. So even if you are, the leader Aries, and you're this yang energy and you are the fire starter, it's like, but we want to make sure that we're nurturing these things that are going to start, and that they can be long lasting, and that we can sustain ourselves through this whole zodiac year with what's being started slowly now. So it feels pretty interesting that we're gonna have all these like retrograde energies going back into Pisces. So we're getting that like feminine yin energy helping us, kind of soothing us, so we're not getting like a burned by the quickness of Aries this year. It's like, because we need that balance. And I think that's, and we're doing this back and forth between Pisces and Aries throughout the year, because all these big planets are moving from Pisces to Aries, and then we'll have a retrograde and they'll go back. Even like Neptune, it moves into Aries on the 30th this week, but then it'll retrograde back into Pisces in like October. So this whole year we're having this flip flop, because I think we need the yin and the yang so much right now for balancing out these big shifts and transitions that are happening in our society and in ourselves, that spirit, God's helping us not lose ourselves in these shifts. Like it's we're being helped. I just find that like really cool. Because that I am energy that Aries represents, it's like, yeah, this is who you are, but it's like an infant learning the world, that baby ram, and like finding your legs, finding your orientation, and you need your mother. So the Aries being the infant of the zodiac, the mother birthed the baby, right? And so we're getting this yin energy that's like helping us along the way as we're growing into these new versions of ourselves. And so where we don't feel like it's just us and we just got to do it and we just got to figure it out, and it all falls on our shoulders, because that can cause the tower on the other side of the tower. Instead of like surprises and sudden changes, it's that chaos and the conflict and the destruction. And that's what we're trying to navigate, because Mars energy is powerful. I mean, and it can be destructive. But it can also be very helpful in taking action, which we need, but we don't want to take action in a way that's debilitating to us down the road. So I feel like that's why we're having this kind of like moment where it's a little slower of an Aries season with these retrogrades. And then like with the thing about the emperor is all four kings. So you not only have, the king of swords and the king of wands, which is the masculine energy, you also have the king of cups and the king of pentacles. So that is needed to create the balance which the emperor represents, or the stability. The number 4 is about stability. And so having both the masculine kings and the feminine kings creates the stability. So I find the emperor is, yeah, he's strong, he's a leader, but he's a leader because he has the divine masculine and divine feminine working within him to create structure and stability so that things can actually grow from his kingdom and survive, and not be thrown off his game because he forgot to nurture something when he was too busy making plans and making strategies. So I love that we have that emperor imagery as well. And then, of course, Aries rules the first house in astrology. So the emphasis is on ourselves, it's on how we are showing up. And I think the slower, the better right now. So sitting with yourself and really um, feeling these shifts, feeling the changes, and taking actions from that new perspective and how you see yourself. And it's like double emphasized, I feel, for me, because I'm in a perfecting first house year too, because I'm 36, and you can look up your perfection on like a Google the perfection wheel and see what year you're in. So I feel that like double kind of Aries energy. Um, yeah, is that all I want to say? I think so. I like that. It feels cute. It feels neat. Let's get some cards. Um, let's see what the collective is for Aries season. Yeah, I just got this image of like a Dodge Ram, of course, in my head. And you know how they have the ram head on the brakes. So like when they put the brakes on, you see, oh, it's a ram. And like that's what it feels like. It's like someone in their Dodge Ram is like they're putting the brakes on. And so we have to like take a moment and actually like see ourselves, because we're not moving so quickly. We have to really see ourselves, sit with ourselves, be ourselves, know ourselves, love ourselves, in order to make sure that we're stepping and taking action in ways that are going to be supportive of who we are, like the emperor. So we're building and leading ourselves, or being our own leader by, taking the time to know what we need. Is that it? Know what we need. Okay. Let's see. Let me pay attention. Four of Swords reverse. Interesting. Okay. So Four of Swords reversed. That's that. Um, we want to get things started energy, right? Upright, the Four of Swords is patience. So we're feeling that anticipation. We're like, okay, we're ready. She's in a nest. I talked about the bird in the nest. Like she's in the nest. She's ready to get out of the nest. She's ready. She's thought about it, but it's still a slower energy. It's still a slower energy that's saying like, okay, it's crossing the Queen of Cups. So that feminine energy, we have to feel our way into this new phase. We have to trust our intuition so that we can move instinctually through this phase and to the next thing, right? It's telling us, yes, it's time to go, but we don't have to rush, because we're checking back in. We're checking back in because I have the Lovers here reversed and the Two of Wands reversed. So with the Two of Wands, there's a change in our plans. And I think that plans are changing because we now know who we are. And because the plans are changing, all these shifts are happening. We're having to make sure and check in and communicate with ourselves that we are in alignment as we're taking these action steps, because these big shifts are happening. So our intuition is and how spirit is showing us is saying, slow down, because you really need to listen to yourself so that you feel in alignment with all aspects of who you are, because the plans have changed. You have changed, and that's okay. But it's okay. But because of that, it's okay not to be so sure about uh exactly what's next. So I feel like that's why these are coming up reversed. It's like we know it's time to move, and we're going to intuitively and instinctually move forward, but we have to make sure that we're connecting back to ourselves throughout each of these steps, so that when that proverbial tower falls, we're like ready to do whatever the star, right? The star comes after the tower, be in alignment with ourself. The star is about self, and making sure that you are being true to yourself, And therefore, that truth leads you to the future Aquarius energy that you see for yourself. So I love this. I love this. And we got fire, we got water, we got air, and a little page of pentacles peeking itself through. We got earth right here too, saying we're starting a new journey, but it's a slow journey with the pentacles showing up too. All right, bless.
Yeah, I like what we were talking earlier, the slow burn. And I realize when it's kind of like a slow and steady wins the race type of energy instead of like jumping, head first into something, which Aries can be known to do. Like the shadow side can be kind of like that recklessness, right? Like acting first, thinking later. But I like that we have this retrograde because Aries can sometimes have that jarring type of energy because it just busts through, right? Like I said, head first, and it's just like, whoa. So it can be a little intense. Um, but to me, this is like an opportunity to soften some of the hard edges. You know what I'm saying? Like soften those hard edges, be able to have more clarity, be more mindful, more conscious in what is inspiring us, and so that we can really tune into what is calling us like authentically, right? And so to me, it's also kind of like an energy of like that quiet confidence when it comes down to our self leadership. Like it's kind of like a do no harm, take no shit. You don't go seeking anything, except for what is meant for you and what it is that you're focused on creating. But at the same time, it's like, not really not being so easily wavered by outside opinions and things like that. So it's like learning to stay more in your presence with that quiet confidence. Actually, I think the retrograde makes it like using more logic than just kind of jumping in. Um, and so I like this energy too. It's like you said, it's instinctual. It's like this inner knowing, but also being very mindful and slowing down. So I've noticed that with my own personal projects. I'm kind of like, Kisha, just go with the flow. You know where the direction is that you're going. So that's very Aries like I know where I'm headed, right? But at the same time, it's kind of like, but also just don't put so much like pressure on yourself to where it's you get too in your head about it, and causes like that angst or that anxiety or that like that overwhelm, right? That Aries energy can bring. So in tonight's Astro Reiki, we will be working with specific chakras so that we can cultivate that slow burn as we get out of our headspace and into not only our heart, but into our bodies on a deeper level. So, all right. So, wherever you are, go ahead and take a nice deep breath. And you can bring your focus to a soft gaze or gently closing your eyes if that is safe and available for you in this moment. Taking a moment just to connect, allowing yourself to open up and just setting everything else aside. Feeling yourself, breathing deeply, lengthening each inhale and exhale. Inviting all of yourself into this moment. Bringing your awareness down through the body and into the hips. Grounding and releasing anything that no longer serves you down into the earth. Just taking a moment to let the energies of this season shifts, transition, change. Be as it is, just becoming the observer, noticing how you're feeling during this season. Notice any anticipation of what's to come, any optimism, feeling inspired, allowing yourself to receive that inspiration to guide you, to stoke your inner flame, passion, your desire, your deeper yearnings. Your creative expression, what it is you would like to not only create, but to experience, to express, to contribute. What are some of the ideas that have been just meandering through the mind? Excuse me. What are some of those creative endeavors, pursuits you may have put on pause for a moment? Maybe it's time to revisit some of those ideas, the things that you've put on the back burner. Just tuning in with yourself, feeling it out, seeing if it's the right time. What are you being inspired by? What is calling for your attention? Where is your focus? Breathing in, breathing out. Sometimes we hold an expectation within our minds of how something should be, how it will work out. We have our own thoughts, preferences, knowing. Just for this moment, bring to mind not only that which you desire to create and which is calling you, which you know, but allowing that awareness to start to sink down through the body. Allowing it to be felt and held deeply in the heart space. Just feeling the emotions of joy, happiness, success, achievement of this creation becoming manifest. Your vision, your potential becoming actualized and real. Allow all of your senses to awaken. What might that future timeline look like, feel like? What are the experiences that may come with that? Just allowing the mind to explore and wander for a moment. We step away from what we already know, just expanding our horizon so that we can clearly see the path, how to get there. Feeling into it and feeling that success, that achievement. Allowing that to come down just a little deeper into the body. Maybe feeling sensual, slow burn. It's fire within the belly. Soft, a glow, yet undeniable. Soft yet powerful. Radiant, bright. Allow this passion, this desire to stoke your power gently, just enough to keep you inspired, but not to the point you're burning the candle at both ends and completely burning out. It's sustainable. What would that feel like? For this flame, this light within you to be steady, to be sustainable, to not only ignite your passion, but to ground you in the possibilities, the knowingness, the awareness, the vision. What it is you are here to create, to offer, to explore. It's just like the buzz of this season. Curiosity, the possibility, the optimism. With a smooth and steady presence. Slow and steady burn. Feeling it fuel your desires. It's like finding that right temperature. Allowing yourself to just settle in. Feel the openness, the expansiveness, being curious, open to possibilities, but also allowing yourself not to get too ahead. Still being present and grounded in yourself. Listening to your inner wisdom. Honoring your inner knowing. Trusting your instincts. Trusting yourself. when it is time to take that inspired action, you will know exactly how, when, and why. There's no need to rush, to push yourself. Just enjoy the ride. Stay aligned. Stay committed and flexible. Stand firm, soft. Enjoy the moment. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice any ideas, thoughts that may come to explore any feelings or sensations that may be beckoning your attention, calling you from deep within, listening to the deepest parts of yourself. So that you may move in rightful action, intuitively inspired action, forging ahead, deep sense of knowingness, steady, sustainable force of nature, moving forward towards your destiny, desires, wishes fulfilled. All that and more. May you receive in this season and beyond. And just allowing the energy of Reiki to settle space all around you. Feeling yourself coddled and held. Space. It's as if a ball of Reiki light surrounds you. Nurturing you in this new beginning. Protecting you, guiding you. Attracting all the opportunities and resources needed for you to move forward with certainty, fearlessness. Groundedness. The breath smooth and steady. Breathing in. And breathing in. On your next breath, just bring some gentle movement. Fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Allow yourself to awaken, feeling as if you're in that emergence between the seasons, finally stepping back into the light, the warmth, the glow, your highest creative essence and expression. As you come out of this meditative slumber, enhanced with the power of Reiki, just taking a moment to stretch, slowly awakening, and no rush. When you are ready, opening your eyes gently. Lotus!
As usual, I never want to come out, and
I
I'm
know.
literally in my head, I'm like, no, no, no. Yay. So join our Patreon, y'all, if you enjoyed this as well. We're about to go get into the members only readings. So join us if you would like that. And thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, comment, share, like, and be on the lookout for new stuff from us. And yeah. See ya.